This is Weekend Winners, proudly brought to you by One Equine. For the equine athlete, 10 races this Saturday night at Albion Park, and overall it looks a well-balanced program. The highlight race, though, later in the card, race 9, the mobile trot, free-for-all conditions. The three best trotters here in the state are all going to clash head-to-head here. So Golden Sunset, who previously owned the track record until it was broken recently by Not As Promised. And then we've got Gus, who steps out behind the mobile. He's getting set for the big New Zealand feature, the Group 1 Dominion, in a couple of weeks' time, November 11 for that feature. So they're going head-to-head. Mobile start conditions over 2,138 metres. That race is the highlight race without doubt on the program. As I said, 10 races. We start just after 5:30. It looks a good program, and we're about to chat with Matty Elkins and Shane Graham. Matty Elkins jumps in the hot seat to go through his drives on Saturday night, and he's with us now. Matty, appreciate the time.
Pleasure as always, Chris.
Bronski Zul, I'm fascinated to get your thoughts on this guy from last week. The change-up speed, as I remarked last week following the call, it's something that we haven't seen for some time. Did he surprise you at the way he finished off to win that race last week?
Not really, Chris. I've only driven him a couple of times now, and he's sort of been building every time I've driven him, and I don't think he's put a bad foot forward while I've driven him, and I knew a win wasn't far away.
Okay, so just the speed. I probably had him pegged as being a really dour type, but following a good tempo like he did last week, he can change it up, and it was very evident for everyone to see last week.
Yeah, I think off a slow tempo he's probably going to struggle to pick up and change up speed, and I don't think he can do a lot of work anymore, but I did say the other week, I think if they run it hard and he's got to sit, I think he'll just keep running all day, and I think that's his best pattern.
Okay, so this race, given that he's got a second row draw on Saturday night, pace dependent in many ways.
Yeah, I think so. To be fair, I think this race might set up pretty similar to last week, I hope anyway, but I think if we get a genuine tempo, he's thereabouts.
Okay, so he's drawn 2 off the second row. Let me ask this. If he was drawn inside of the second row and drawn to follow Ella Street, how much more confident would you be going into this race if that was the setup with the draw?
Maybe less. I struggled to hold the ones back last week and still ended up 3 fence, so it mightn't worry too much.
So you're happy with this draw, 2 off the second line?
Yeah, I think the draw's good, and I think that where the others have drawn it sort of sets up pretty well, and hopefully it's run the same as last week.
Ella Street probably looks the obvious leader here from gate 1. No doubt you want a fairly genuine lead time here.
Yeah, definitely. He kind of looks like he's revving up a bit at the moment, Ella Street. He run a mile pretty hard here last week, and I think 3 fence got out and beat him. So back to the middle trip, 2100, and hopefully he runs it along solid again.
Okay, so last week he was off cover. If the tempo is only moderate early, would you be afraid to make an early move with Bronski Zulu?
Yeah, I'd probably be reluctant to. He sort of sat outside Ella Street here a couple of weeks ago and went well and held on for third, but I don't think it's really his go anymore. But I think 3 fence might be there, and we'll be happy to be there.
Okay, but he's a good chance either scenario.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, that's Bronski Zulu. What about race 4, Tiger Bandwagon? Here he is stepping out in open class company on Saturday night. He's got gate 5, 2,138 metres. What are your expectations with the Tiger?
Look, it's obviously a step up in grade from what he's been racing, but I love the horse. We love the horse at home, and I think he can make this step up. Obviously, he's probably might take a couple of runs at it, but what he's delivered on that Tuesday circuit, I'm sure he can take it to a Saturday. The times aren't too much different. His
credentials when he arrived at your stable, they read up more than okay, more than useful. So I'm tipping he hasn't surprised you with the way he's gone about it, but this is a big step forward. So how do you sort of think he's going to measure up in this sort of grade?
Look, I don't expect him to come here and win it much, but look, I definitely think he's going to pay his way and pick up enough checks on the way. I think one asset he's got is very versatile, and I think that'll take him a long way in this grade.
So how do you sort of map this race on Saturday night? Barrier 5, you're right in the middle. He's got some early speed. Do you try and get forward and move across with turn it up? How do you sort of play it early?
Yeah, it's probably tricky. I'd love to turn it up to go zoom across and we be first on the scene, but it might not work out that well. But, look, we'll look to slide forward and see where we end up. He might have to earn a bit of respect in this grade, but, I'm sure he'll handle himself well, and whatever he does this week, he's going to improve off. He sort of hasn't been at the races for a couple of weeks now, but I think his work's good enough at home and he'll be right there with them, I think.
Okay, so Turn It Up, likely to lead despite having that wide draw. Do you think he's looking for cover here, or do you think he's sort of forced to hold the lead this week?
Look, if it was a mile, I'd say definitely be holding this week. It's probably not the strongest open going around, and as well as Tiger Bandwagon, there's a few others that are making the step up first time in the open. So, it's probably a good test for our guy this week. It's not the strongest open, but there's a few doing the same thing. So the tactics on Turn It Up will be interesting.
So what's a pass mark then for the Tiger?
Oh, look, I think he'll do a pass mark. If he finishes in top 5, I think he can do that.
Okay. I'd be disappointed if he didn't run top 5.
Yeah, definitely. He gives a great feel out in front in those weeks, but also first up when he was chasing, he couldn't have done much more. So I think that versatility will help him, but I do know he is probably better racing week to week, and he has missed a few weeks, so he will improve off this week.
In 3 of the 4 starts so far, they've been at the mile. He has won at 2,138 metres. Do you have a preference on what trip will be best for him?
No, I don't think it matters, to be honest. That win over 2,100, he felt like a monster. I think he run his back straight quarter in 26.8 and still felt like he had a lap full of horse there, straightening for home. Does knock off a little bit in front when he's got the job done, but I don't think either trip matters for him.
Okay, well, he's an interesting watch there, Tiger Bandwagon, going to the open class for the first time. Race 5, you're driving Madrigal, a mare that you know really well, 2 off the second row here. How do you think she fits into this race?
Yeah, look, normally you get these consolations and they're a bit weaker races, but this is a pretty strong race there. Barrier 9's probably helped. We can be kind to her early and look for a soft trip, I think.
It's a hard race to map, though, isn't it? When you look at that front row, there's a few there that are likely to push forward, but it's hard to really determine who's the likely leader.
Yeah, definitely. There's probably a few different scenarios, but we've got a good draw. We don't have to worry about that early, and hopefully a few of them want the front, and they run it pretty hard up front.
All right. Here's a challenge for you. Mickey's Joe Gate 7 at the mile. Never easy. I don't think he's going as bad as what the numerical form reads.
No, and it's a challenge because of my mistake. I went all the way to Redcliffe to drive him the other day from Barrier 1 because I know he goes quite all right, and I galloped him there behind the gate and OD'd him, so it's probably my job to make up for it.
Okay. How much gate speed does he have?
No, very little.
So who would be faster, him or Bronski Zulu at the start?
Bronski Zulu.
Oh, that's saying something. So you just sort of float forward or just sort of go straight back?
I'd say we'll float out. He's a horse, he doesn't have a lot of change-up speed, but I honestly think he could stay all day. But, it's hard from out there, but if we could slot in somewhere and get a genuine tempo, I think he will run a race. After that mistake there at Redcliffe the other week, he actually ran a really good race in strong time.
So he's capable of winning a Saturday night race?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's Mickey's Joe, so that will be a challenge there. Here's another one. You've got Gate 7 with Kylo and Queen. She's knocking on the door. When are they going to open it for her, though?
Am I driving or is Narissa?
Oh, Narissa's driving, but you can give me the mail here. You're the trainer.
Yeah, I think she's ready to go.
Really?
Yeah.
2,100?
Won't be a problem.
Okay. Can she lead despite the wide gate?
Oh, I think she might be crossed down even quicker than normal this week. She's getting on really well with Narissa. She's gone awesome her last couple of starts, and she probably did hit a bit of a flat spot, but Narissa seems to be getting the best out of her the last couple of weeks, and I think she's a good chance to zoom across, and she might be able to pinch a quarter in this race and be too hard to run down.
Oh, I like the confidence here. And this does look a lot easier than what she has been meeting of late.
Yeah, definitely. She's run some big races here the last couple of weeks and had good horses outside her and on her back, and she's just missed out on both occasions. So I think this is a fair drop in grade, and I think that's why she's Barrier 7. It was drawn on rating this week, so I think if she finds top, she'll be very hard to beat.
Okay, it looks very winnable. There's no standout in that field.
No, that's for sure.
All right, so good confidence there with your own runner, Kylo and Queen. Which horse is most exciting you for the weekend?
Look, I think Bronski Zulu is probably my best winning chance, but I'm really looking forward to Tiger Bandwagon taking the step up.
Okay, so that's race 3, number 9, Bronski Zulu. Race 4, number 5, Tiger Bandwagon. You're going well. Appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Thanks, Chris.
Shane Graham is now joining us to go through his drives for Saturday night. He's in the hot seat now. Shane, appreciate the time.
No problems, Chris.
We start with race 2 Saturday night. Your drive is Mighty Jolt, drawn the inside of the second row over the mile. Not the worst spot to be.
No, it's a good draw for him. He had his chance last week, probably, entitled to run first or second, but yeah, back to the mile will suit him a bit more, I think.
Okay, that was the obvious question for me. Were you happy or disappointed with the last week?
Yeah, look, he was all right, like I said, he had his chance, but yeah, he's sort of one of those horses. Some weeks he does perform better than others, so last week was probably just one of his average ones.
Okay, when you looked at this field, when the fields were drawn up, were you thinking behind leader or 3 fence?
Oh, look, yeah, hopefully you're behind leader, but, worst case scenario, I think it'll only be 3 fence. So either way, he's going to get his chance to be in the money.
Okay. 2 starts ago when he won, albeit standing start conditions, he was really impressive.
He was, yeah, no, that's what I mean. He can, some weeks, through, I don't know if it's anyone's fault or whatnot, but yeah, he was on song that day and went real good, and then you would have thought he would have backed it up probably and went close on the following start, but he didn't. But yeah, he's just one of them horses. He never puts in a bad one, but he's probably just never consistent.
Is bigger the better the horse to beat?
Yeah, I think so. He's I think his record over the short trip's good, and he's got the good draw, so he's probably the hardest.
All right, well that's Mighty Jolt race 2. What about race number 3? You drive here, Marvellous Mac. He's got the outside of the second row, but it is 2,138 metres.
Yeah, look, it's probably a bit hard for him. I think he's probably his last 5 runs he hadn't put in a bad one, so yeah, he's going to need a little bit of luck from there, but the distance helps.
Like Mighty Joel, Marvellous Mac 2 starts ago was impressive, but the draw makes it difficult here. But are you happy with the way he's going?
Yeah, real happy with him. He likes sort of being up there and on the pace, whereas Saturday night he's going to have to come from back in the field, I'd say. So yeah, but you can't knock how he's going.
Ellis Street Barrier 1, is he the horse to beat?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. That's Marvellous Mac, race number 3. We'll move on to race number 4. Turn It Up here. He's got the outside of the front row. Not that that means much for him. Now, there's a number of questions here with Turn It Up. He's been a runner-up his past 2. This looks a really good open pace for him because despite it being an open, it's not the strongest open that we've seen in recent times. Yeah,
look, it like you said, there's... The last few weeks, Turn It Up, he's always just had one of the, the young ones coming through, and there's been one better, but it's more of an even field this week, so hopefully he can win a race. Right. That being said, 2,100 metres. So if it was a mile, are you holding that, or given that the fact that it is 2,100, are you looking for cover? No, I think like in this, generally these days, we do take cover, but it's normally on the best horse in the race, and, that's been one of the good ones. But this field, like you said, seems even, so, I think he can probably be in front and give him his shot. All right. If it's not this week, when will it be? Yeah, well, that's it, no free-for-all's easy, but compared to what he's been racing, it's probably... like I said, there's no standout in it. All right, just doing the sums here. If he wins this race, he's still a little shy of $1 million? Yeah, I think, if he can win probably 2, he might crack it. But, yeah, it's going to take a lot of placings, I think. Okay. Are you more worried about a Rhoda or Burkakara? Look, there's probably more than them in it too, There's there are often these, even fields. It comes down to luck and running, but hopefully we're sort of on the front and out of any trouble. So, yeah, look, hopefully we don't have to worry about any of them. It'd be nice this week to win and just really get close to $1 million. That way it's just, or, I don't know, you tell me, would you want to win this week and then sort of just get, no, I don't know, what do you think? Well, I'd like to win every week, Chris. It'd be good with him, but you know what it's like in this grade. Yeah, they're never easy, so we'll just take them whenever they come. We'll take them. Okay, well said. Let's move across to race number 6. You can have race 5 off if you win it there with Turn It Up. Race 6, Better's Moon. It's a pickup drive here. 2 off the second row. How do you sort of rate her chances? Yeah, look, she's racing in great form and doing it tough, but you know, I think this is probably, you know, a step up in grade for her, and there's a lot of you know, classy up and coming horses in it. So yeah, look, she's racing well and won't disgrace herself. Okay, is this the first time you've sat behind this mare? Yeah, it is. Okay, yep. Fern Cornell's the up and comer here, and he's off the front row, so he's going to be the obvious horse to beat. Yeah, that's it. You know, he was super in his heat, and you know you can't knock his form. So you know, if anyone does beat him, I think they'll be the winner. But yeah, it looks like his race.
All right, let's move across to race 7. You're driving Kalasa. He just missed out last time out, so he's close. Is this his race?
Yeah, look, he's you know, he's very fast horse, and you know, just needs a little bit to go his way. But if he's within a couple of lengths of the top of the straight and gets clear running, you know, he's very fast. So you know, he needs a little bit of luck, but yeah, he's got the ability to go with it.
Are you thinking you're going to be behind leader or 3 fence?
It's sort of, you know, you hope you're behind the leader, but you know, 3 fence, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, so we can still win despite that position if he is 3 fence.
Yeah, that's right. You know, like you still need that little bit of luck from 3 fence, but you know, the way they run at Albion, generally gaps appear.
Okay. Are you surprised that he hasn't picked up a Saturday night race yet?
Yeah, probably. You know, like I suppose he's only had a few runs back from that long break, and it's a hard grade to come back at. So, you know, he went close last week, but yeah, I'm sure a win's not too far away.
That front row, it looks fairly tough, doesn't it? Like, as far as, you know, there's no standout there off the front line.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, well, that's class. So what about Works For Me in race number 8? Outside of the second row, but this is a race that's within her reach.
Yeah, that's right. She, you know, I think she's going well enough to win, but the draw makes it a bit sticky, you know. But each time I've driven her, she's given me a good feel and hit the line. So, you know, it's a winnable race, but draw evens things up a bit.
So the trip helps her?
I think so. You know, I think the longer the better for her.
Okay, there'll be a few that might just be a little susceptible late here.
Yeah, well, you know, it's hard because we have that much mile racing. You know, when we do get out to the longer distance, you know, some of them don't cope with it. So, you know, hopefully she does and a few others don't.
All right. Race number 9, I think this is the best race of the night. This trot, and you're driving Golden Sunset. How do you see it?
Yeah, look, you know, our trotters up here have definitely stepped up a notch. You can see by that track record run last start. So, yeah, I'm happy to get the drive on her, and hopefully, yeah, she can turn the tables.
Well, you're probably likely going to be in front here at some point, and then this pressure's going to come. Is that the way you see it?
Yeah, I think that's how it looks like it'll play out, and you know, we'll talk to Sean Michelle and see what they're wanting to do.
Okay, what are you thinking? Do you want to hold, or are you looking to hand?
I just do as I'm told from the trainer. Okay. It's just easier that way.
All right. She's going to be a lot fitter here.
Yeah, that's right. You know, she was first up, and it was a cracker of a mile they run, and you know, even her own time, I'm sure it would have beaten her track record. So she was good. So yeah, you'd imagine she'd improve a little.
It's a good race, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, very good, you know, and it just shows how strong the trots are up here at the moment and the class that's coming through them.
All right, the last race on Saturday night. This is the 2-year-old pace. It's a good race as well, and you're driving the very, the very interesting runner. Let's call him that. Fitzroy, first up from New Zealand, comes across with really good credentials, and you've had a feel from him at the trials. What are the expectations?
Yeah, look, he's, you know, I think he's, yeah, he's got his share of ability, and his trials have been quite good. You know, he's a very casual little racehorse. He only does what you ask of him, and he's been good in both trials. So, yeah, I think race day he'll step it up a notch. All
right, he looks like he's got good gate speed. So do you sort of feel like you're going to sort of drive forward quickly here?
Yeah, look, he was quite keen in the first trial, and in New Zealand he's blasted off the gate. So yeah, we'll see what Ian wants to do, but there is speed to his inside, you know. So he, I think he doesn't have to go forward, but it is there if we need to.
All right, you look at that Kiwi form; it reads up very strongly.
Yeah, it does. You know, he's got good. He's racing good company and that. So yeah, he'll acquit himself well.
All right. Well, you've got a busy night in front of you here on the weekend. Which one's standing out for you?
Oh, I'll stay with Turn It Up, mate. He's my favourite, so I'll go with him.
All right. Race 4, number 7, Turn It Up, marking him as the best bet or the best drive for you on the weekend. Hey, really appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
As always, a big thanks to our two drivers this week, Matty Elkins, Shane Graham. We wish both guys the very best of luck on Saturday night, and they've both got some really good chances there. Time now, though, to find a good thing for this card of racing. I think we've got to be patient. This last race is the 2-year-old Open over the mile, and I think Timmy Teo gets a great opportunity here because he lands the inside draw. He's a 2-year-old with really good gate speed, so he's either going to lead or be in the trail. Either scenario, I think he's going to prove awfully hard to beat. I'm expecting he'll make a bold bid for victory and try for an all-the-way victory. Last time out against older horses, he was down the line, but if he can get away with an easy sectional here, and maybe that just eventuates with a small field, it might become quite tactical. I think he gets away with it. He can sprint home in good sectionals. So race 10, number 1, Timmy Teo, I'm going to mark him as the best bet. But there's going to be a big watch there on the former Kiwi Fitzroy, who makes his local debut. Looking forward to this card of racing on Saturday night. If you are gambling across the weekend, please do so responsibly. We'll see you trackside at the Creek, our first race, coming up just after 5:30.